Hello, today we are solving May 2025 IAL Unit 2 question number 5. So Green Gas PLC is a company that is supplying gas to the western area of the country, and it buys and supplies gas from a producer called as North Sea Gas. So we had prepared revenue budget, then we had prepared inventory budget. In the third part C of the question, we are supposed to prepare the cash budget for Green Sea Gas PLC. How much of cash they need to pay, okay, in order to purchase for each of the 4 months, September to December 2025. So let's prepare the cash budget. First one is the monthly usage per customer in units. How many units did the customers use in the entire month? So we had the weekly usage per customers, and we had also calculate the monthly usage per customer. So weekly usage times the 4 gives the monthly usage. So they have already given 400 units times the 4, that is going to be equal to 1600 units is the monthly usage. So then for the month of September, it is for the month of September, okay. Then in the month of October, it was 2000 units. So 500 units times the 4, that was equal to 2000 units. Then in the month of November, it was 625 times the 4, it was 2500 units. So let's write it here. So and for the month of December, it was already calculated as 3000 units. Weekly usage times the 4 will give you the monthly usage per customer. So it was 750 times the 4, it was 3000 units. Okay. Now we had already calculated this in the part A, so that needs to be filled, but we don't know what was the monthly usage for August. Now here it is said that each unit of gas will be purchased for 0.04 pounds per unit. Delivery of the gas for the sale in the week for the inventory takes place on the first day. 1 month's credit is allowed, and it takes advantage, and gas used in August per customer rose by 25% to give the usage per customer in September. So this information, from this information we can calculate what was the consumption that happened in August. So what is the inventory requirement per customer units? How much of it is consumed? That much inventory is always required. So let's calculate. Here they have given the inventory consumption in September increased 25% from August. Start of the week, they need to have the 1 week consumption. They need to have that ready. So it is 400 for the month of September, October 500, November it was 625, and for the month of December it was 750. They need to have at the start of the week, they need to have the weekly usage. Then in the month of August, it rose by 25%. So what does the statement mean? It means that whatever was the usage in August times 1.25 must be equal to 400. Okay, that is the thing they have given. So per usage customer, how much units was used, that increased by 0.25. So 1.25 times the August will give the 400 units consumed weekly usage consumption which happened in September. So X units used in August times 1.25 will give you 400 units in September. So it is actually X units plus X times 0.25. So that will be equal to X units times 1.25. So 400 units divided by 1.25 is equal to 320 units. Okay, you can calculate 320 plus 320 times 0.25, that is equal to 400 units. So whenever you have an unknown, you can add and write it as 1.25 times the unit consumed in August. Now monthly usage per customer becomes 320 units, which is a weekly usage consumption, times the 4. That will be equal to 1280 units. So the monthly usage for per customer is 1280. Okay, then inventory increase. So whenever we have these business has 1 week of supply. Okay, so in the month of September they would have had arrived 320 plus they need to get extra 80 in the month of September. So the inventory increase per customer we have to calculate. So in the month of September again it would have come 320, but there is an increase, an incremental value of 80. Okay, incremental value of 80 that needs to be brought in. It needs to be purchased at the start of the week, because 1 week supply they always have. So the extra ending closing inventory in the August 320 plus extra unit that needs to be they need to have is 80 units. So the increase in inventory in the month of September would be around 80. Okay, at the end of each month they will have the excess 1 week's closing inventory that is carried on, okay, in the month of September. Okay, and the extra unit is purchased. So the inventory increase per customer for the each month is calculated. So for the month of September it will be 80 units. For the month of October they would have been left with only 400 units plus extra 100 units they need to purchase, and in the month of November at the end they would have been left with only 500 units, they need to get an extra 125 units, and in the month of December they would have been left with 625 units. Okay, 625 units, but we can see that for the Jan it's the same and we will close, so you will not need any extra inventory left for the month to be carried, okay, carried over to the next year. Extra inventory that is needed to be maintained for the month, okay, or needed to be purchased is always calculated. So in the month of December you don't need that extra inventory because you're going to close off the books. So inventory increase that might have happened, okay, because every month it's not the same. So for the month of December it will become 0. Now let's calculate the total required. Okay, in the month of August the inventory increase would have started with 320 because the previous month information is not given. So 320 minus 0, that is equal to 320. Then the total required for the month per customer we will calculate. So this is calculated using the monthly usage per customer plus the increase. Okay, every week at the beginning they will have, and what is the extra amount that needs to be purchased every week is added up. Okay, So the monthly usage for the September is 1600. For the month of August also you have to calculate. So for the month of August, they would have had zero this thing. So they would have the monthly usage is 1280 units plus the increase unit purchased would have been 320 units, that is equal to 1600 units, because they will have 1 week supply. So that is equal to 1600 units that needs to be purchased. Okay, that is needs to be purchased per in the month of August. In the month of September, the consumption is 1600, but there will be an increase of extra 80 unit that needs to be purchased. So it will be 1680 units in the month of September. Then in the month of October, let's calculate. So the consumption, the unit consumption, okay, unit consumption for the entire month per customer was 2000 units, and they needed some 100 units extra. So that is equal to 2100 units that is required to be purchased. Then for the month of November, it will be equal to 2500 units is the requirement. Okay, and increase purchase will be around 125 units per customer from the previous one. So that is equal to 2625 units is the purchase that needs to happen for the month of November. And for the month of December, you have 3000 units consumption. That is exactly the same amount you need to purchase, because you need not have that extra inventory. Okay, because books will be closed for the month of for the year, entire year. So you will be left with only 3000 units that needs to be purchased. That's a requirement for the month. Now let's calculate let's fill in the column of number of customers. It is already given in part A. So it is 285,000 customers for the month of September, 285 customers for the month of October, 295,000 customers for the month of November, and 305,000 customers for the month of December. So 285,000 customers for September, 285,000 customers for October, 295,000 customers for November, and 305,000 customers for the month of December. Now for the month of August, we have to fill in the number of customers. Okay. Now for the month of August, the information is given. In August, customers were around 280,000 customers were there. Now we have the price per unit. Let's fill in that. So that is going to be equal to 0.04 0.04, 0.04 and 0.04 pounds. Then gross charge. The gross charge will be what is the total number of, total price paid by all the customers. So it will be equal to the total that is required for the month times the customer times the rate. So total required consumption, consumption that's happening by the customers for the entire month into the total number of customers into price paid by each customer. So that is going to be equal to 1600 into, in the month of August, it will be equal to 1600 times 1600 times 280,000 times 0.04. into 280,000 times 0.04, that is going to be equal to 1792 1,920,000 pounds. So this is the amount that is paid by the entire 280,000 customers for in the month of August. Now let's calculate for the month of September. So that is going to be equal to 1680 units times 285,000 times 0.04, that is going to be equal to 1952,000. So now let's calculate for the month of October. The gross charge is going to be equal to the monthly unit consumed 2100 times, that is the inventory units that was purchased, 2100 into there is 295,000 customers into 0.04. For the month of October, let's calculate the gross charge. It is 2100 units into 285,000 customers into 0.04, that is equal to 23,940,000. So that is 23,940,000. For the month of November. So for the month of November, the gross charge is going to be equal to, there are 2625 that was purchased, inventory purchase 2625 times 285,000 to 2625 into 295,000 into 0.04. So that is going to be equal to 39,75,000. So this was a gross charge that was paid by the business to the producer for purchase. So 39,75,000. This is the gross charge paid by the business to the supplier, and 3,000 units were purchased, and there was 305,000 times 0.04, so that is going to be equal to 3660,000. So that is going to be equal to 3660,000 is the gross charge paid by the Green Gas PLC for the purchase of the month. Then they have certain credit system with the agreement between the producer and the supplier of. So now let's calculate. So 1 month's credit is taken advantage, is also allowed. So I need not pay August 17,920,000. I will pay it in September. Then in the month of September, the gross charge I will pay it in the month of October, and the charge for October 23,940,000 I will pay it in the month of November, and this one will be paid on the 39,75,000 for the month of November will be paid in the December. They will receive a 2% discount if the bill is going to exceed 18 million pounds, and they will get a 3% discount if the bill from the gas supplier is over 25 million pounds. So this was a system agreed by. Have to see whether it exceeds gets any discount only when it is exceeding 18 million. So if not, you will have to pay up the entire amount. So for the month of September, I will be paying 17,920,000 only. October, we can see it is exceeding 18 million. It has become 19,152,000, and the 2% discount will be equal to 38,3040. So 383,040 pounds will be the discount they will get. And after deducting that discount from 19,152,000, you will pay the rest. That's what the discount, that is the agreement between Green Sea Gas PLC and North Sea Gas PLC. So 19,152,000 minus 383,040 will be the amount that is going to be paid in that month. Now we can see that for the next month also they will get a 2% discount, because it's exceeding 18 million, but it's not reaching 25 million. It is less than that. So they will still get only 2% discount. So for the month of November, they had to pay 23,940,000, but it is greater than 18 million. So 2% discount will be equal to 478,800. So this is the amount of discount they will get. So after deducting this amount from 23,940,000, they will pay the rest. So 383,040 will be the discount offered in the 1st October, and then for the month of November they will get a discount of 478,800 pounds. So let's write these values here, and then let's calculate what is the actual amount that they need to pay. So 478,800. So 478,800 pounds is the discount amount that they get for in the month of November. Then here we can see it is 39,75,000. It is greater, it is over 25 million. So they will now get a discount of 3%. So in the month of November, they need not pay full 39,75,000. They will need to deduct the discount of 3% over 39,75,000. That is going to be equal to 9,940,000. 929,250. So 929,250 pounds is the discount they will get. So you will reduce 929,250 pounds from 39,975,000. Now let's calculate the value for the month of October. It is 19,152,000 minus 383,000, that is going to be equal to 18. So that is going to be equal to 18,768,960. So 18,768,960 is the amount that needs to be paid. Then for the month of November, it's going to be 23,940,000 minus 478,800. So that is going to be equal to 23,461,200. So 23,461,200, okay, is the amount of pounds they need to pay. Then 39,975,000 minus 929,250. So that is going to be equal to 300,457,50. So 30,045,750 pounds is the amount of money they need to pay in the month of December. So these are the cash budget, okay, for the Green Sea Gas PLC towards North Sea Gas PLC.